episode 30 of the Ukulele Sessions, and today I am joined by the wonderful Laurie Kallevig. Now, if you don't know who Laurie is, she runs the wonderful Survivor Girl Ukulele Band, and the little bit of music that you heard at the beginning is taken from their wonderful CD. It's something that Laurie has set up to help girls and women in India who've been in the sex traffic trade, and they've managed to escape it, and they've gone through these terrible things. And Laurie is using the wonder of the ukulele and music to help these girls and these women with their recovery. I'm not going to say too much because Laurie can explain it so much better than I can. I would say though that it's a really interesting interview on many levels. From a personal level, as what Laurie is doing is just amazing, but from a ukulele level, it's so interesting showing what this wonderful little instrument can help to achieve. Several people had asked me to interview Laurie, and I must say it was an absolute pleasure. It was really great. I'm going to put some links up to where you can buy the beautiful CD and how you can help Laurie as well. And if you can help in any way, she explains the ways that you can help the charity. That would be fantastic. So thank you very much for your time listening today, and enjoy my interview with Laurie Kallevig. Hi Laurie, it is absolutely lovely to see you.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for doing this. This is great.
You're most welcome. Thank you for your time. I wonder if we could start just by you telling me a little bit about your childhood and how you first got into music.
Well, I grew up in a very small town in Minnesota, USA, less than 1,000 people. And there was a lot of music around. My dad was a singer. I had piano lessons. My twin sister and I played our older brother's albums, Beatles, Bee Gees. That's my era. And the Guess Who, then later Bee Gees, Bread, Chicago. So whatever my brothers had, that's kind of the music I grew up on. And we even had a guitar at one point, but I didn't get it. So my being in music at this point is a complete surprise to me because I had no intention of a life of music. But anyway, I'm glad I'm here.
Fantastic. So your taste is quite eclectic, but mainly 60s kind of Beatles kind of stuff, yeah?
Well, that's what I mean, I definitely grew up on. I had an older brother, and I mean, yeah, early 60s Beatles was, um, and old, early Beach Boys and Jan and Dean and hot rod music. And as far as what was in the house, and then all the good stuff on the radio, of course, but.
Fantastic. I love the Beach Boys, but I only listen to them in the summer. They're my summer band. It just suits the summer perfect, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely. And can you tell me how you came to play the ukulele? Have you had lessons? Are you self-taught? What's your sort of ukulele background?
Well, I mean, kind of a long story. I was back in 2009. I was living in Los Angeles. My mother had just died. I didn't have a job, and I was pretty bummed. And a friend of mine, Sharon Hanna, dragged me out to hear live music, singer-songwriter stuff. And every Wednesday, here's another singer-songwriter with a guitar singing their hearts out. And I'm like, well, I could do that. But I never thought I was going to be a performer, but I really thought I want to try guitar. After I had given up on it when I was a kid, I grabbed a guitar and started to play it. And then while I was volunteering with an organization in India, I had a guitar and went out to a village where there were these girls. And I thought, I'm bringing that guitar and we're going to sing. And I brought the guitar. We sang Happy Birthday and Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And it was such an amazing, you know, turn of events in that just the girls came alive and they came up to me afterwards and how does that work? And so I thought, I can't teach these little girls guitar. I mean, I was barely playing it, but I had met someone on a plane who had a ukulele. And she said, well, you can have a ukulele, and it's easy to transport, and it's affordable, and it's easy to play. And I thought I should learn to play ukulele, get a bunch of ukuleles, come back to India and form a Survivor Girl Ukulele Band. So that's how I got to ukulele. Is I said I'm going to bring it to India.
Perfect. And
and
that,
and my so then I got a ukulele. I was back in the U.S. and Michael Lynch was my first teacher, along with Brett McQueen, ukulele tricks. So those that's how I figured out ukulele.
fantastic. And that brings us very neatly onto what we're here to talk about and what I'm really excited to hear about, which is the Survivor Girl Ukulele Band, which is an amazing thing that you run. And well, basically, can you tell us how it started? I mean, you've mentioned that you were in India. Tell us a little bit more about how it started, what your aims were, and what the ethos is behind it, if you would like.
Well, I had traveled in India and Nepal years before and heard about trafficking, and so this had been in the back of my mind bothering me, and and so then I woke up one night with the words rescue and restore in my head, and I thought that's about those girls. I decided to get involved. I started volunteering, and so I wanted a meaningful way to work with survivors. And so then this ukulele thing just became like, yeah, instead of working in an office, I can bring them music. And how powerful is that? And so the idea was, it transcends language. So often I was in different parts of India. Every place has a different language, but music transcends that.
Yeah.
And I felt like I couldn't be a therapist, and I didn't want to make jewelry, but music is like this magnet, and I felt it's healing, it's good for your brain. It's, to learn music is a skill you can take into your life that just I think can change the trajectory of your life. I mean, it certainly has changed my life,
Yeah.
and I think anyone who gets a ukulele around the world is finding it's changing their life.
Yeah,
So I
fantastic.
love it.
Well, I've been sort of reading little bits about you and watching some beautiful interviews with you, and I heard you say this thing that really sort of struck a chord with me. And you believe that music can be a powerful tool in restoring wholeness and building hope for the future. And I totally agree with that. And I wondered if you had any examples of how that's happened with the Survivor Girl Ukulele Band.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to quantify what's, really dovetailed into any girl's particular trajectory. But here's what a couple of girls have said.
Okay.
Um, One girl, and you have to keep in mind these girls have had amazing, no, horrible trauma in their life,
Yeah.
and they're locked in a shelter home. And I mean, it's not a cozy, comfy, pretty curtains, soft chairs place that you might imagine, um, and and can be kind of rough. Although keep in mind when they leave the shelter home, they all miss it. So
Right.
it's because they have so many good friends there. Um, but one girl said, "I'm not alone anymore. I'm part of a band."
Wow.
And another girl said, "At first I thought ukulele was difficult, but now I think it's easy. And when I play, my mind is free." And for someone who's locked in for years, to say this makes her feel free is, yeah, I mean, I do believe, and my being able to show them love, and they're doing something together. I think, it's certainly not the whole answer. When they are released, they're released back into the situation from whence they came.
Yeah.
Um, so it is not, everything, but I think even when you go back to hell, if you have music with you, it's something
Yeah.
better.
it's interesting because I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of people doing these interviews, and mental health comes up a lot, and how the ukulele can help with that. One of my students went through quite a traumatic time, and he said the only time he doesn't think about it is when he's playing the ukulele. For that half an hour when he plays it, he doesn't think about anything else. And do you think there's something specific about the ukulele? Because there's obviously other instruments that you can take up and that, but is there something? Is it just because it's so happy, it's tuned so happily, it's a fun size, they come in vibrant colours? What is it about the ukulele that you think is so specific to helping people?
Well, I mean, it's certainly a cheerful sound the minute you start it. And I have noticed when I'm with playing with these girls and we sit on the floor and we're in a circle or we're face to face. I mean, I feel some of those vibrations like shoot right through me,
Yeah.
and it's wild. And I'm not really um, I don't know anything about that really in particular, but I feel like this is um, this is an amazing experience. And the physicality of ukulele, it's taking your whole, you know, concentration, and you can be a rock star, or you can play a melancholy melody that expresses what you don't have words for. Um, and then I think the community as well. There's a community of ukulele people that is, around the world, generous and welcoming and coming together. And you can be a rank beginner and pull off a great performance. I mean, a victorious performance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because, in India, everyone's dancing. If you go to an event, crank up some music and everyone's twirling around and dancing. And we went to one event where, I mean, this was like 3 hours of group after group dancing. We were added on at the very end. And the girls went out there, and the crowd was rowdy. It had been there for 3 hours. And the kid in the front row said, "Shh, they're playing guitars."
Yeah.
And they, knocked it out of the park as far as everyone was concerned. I mean, everyone was videotaping, and there was a group up in the balcony that gave them a standing ovation.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's fresh, it's fun, it's you know, I don't know, what is it about
Yeah.
ukulele? I
I
don't know if
think
I answered your question,
No,
but
I think you're right. I think the community has got a lot to do it. I mean, I've certainly found through doing this, I've never approached anyone and asked them to do an interview, and they've all said yes. And people like yourself, you're giving your time for free, which I really appreciate. And everyone's, yeah, I'll do that. I'm not sure that would happen in other circles of life. I don't know.
right, right. And I've had people, from New Zealand say, "We want to support your project." I
Yeah,
mean, there's a ukulele festival there that heard about me, and Elaine DeMann in California. So different people have just, resonated with what I'm doing. They're ukulele people, and then they're like, "We get what you're doing, and we want to support you." So
yeah.
um,
That's a
it's
great thing, isn't it? A really great thing. And I think going back to what you said about a bunch of people playing the ukulele, for me, there's something special about the noise of a bunch of people who maybe haven't even been playing that long, but they're getting it. It's the first time. And on a basic level, I think everybody's hand moving at the same time playing these instruments. There's just something special about it, isn't there?
There is. I mean, and it I think making music and being able to create that that vibe and be surrounded with all of that is really special. I mean, I know when I'm doing, strum-alongs, it's a rare thing for me, to be at a ukulele festival, but wow, it's really amazing.
Yeah,
And then, working with the girls, I mean,
yeah.
it's what a thrill.
Fantastic. So, you pretty much run Survivor Girl Ukulele Band on your own. What are the best parts and the worst parts about it, Laurie?
Best parts. Best parts are I would say just those huge smiles of achievement. And Chocolate Champion Friday nights, they get really, really intent on practicing for 10 minutes that, that little bit, whatever Chocolate Champion is. And it's, for one piece of candy. and, uh, and the title of Chocolate Champion, of course. But, and then I mean, I remember one time the girls started going through my hair for lice, and I thought, well, that is just so sweet. Thank you. I mean, um, and they'd smash it, the little nit between their fingers and say dead, and yeah. So I do get lice, and I don't even care. I have ways to get rid of it, and worst part is probably my the paperwork part.
Yeah.
Um, and, being behind, oh, my thank you notes for this year are not even out yet. Um, should send out a newsletter. I should update my website. Some of these things that I get overwhelmed on. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I get the impression that you could talk about all the great things forever, and the bad things wouldn't take too long, which is a good
It's
sign.
like, ugh.
Now, I've had the pleasure of listening to your album recently, the Survivor Girl Ukulele Band album, and I've really been enjoying it. I think it goes back to what you were saying at the beginning. It's got a real 60s vibe to it. It reminded me of some of the sort of the female bands from the 60s, the Shirelles, things like that, beautiful harmonies and that. Was that intentional or did that just come out?
Well, first of all, I have to say that's a huge, huge compliment. Thank you. I don't, I probably stole that line, "He's so fine," from the Chiffon. So,
Right.
but no, I don't think there was any intention of, being a '60s sound. But I'm glad for whatever good sound there is because I love '60s girl bands.
Yeah, yeah, and
So.
it's a great album. I know it's available on iTunes for download from your website, isn't it?
Yeah, it's available on iTunes, and I think I don't know if there's a link because different countries have different iTunes. In fact, I don't think it's available. I have to figure that out because other countries have had problems
Yeah,
finding it on iTunes. So
we'll
something
we'll put a link up to it. But
okay.
I mean, I really recommend it. As soon as I listen to it, put a smile on my face, and also it's fantastic. There it is. Yeah, I have the download, or else I would be waving mine. And it's very professionally recorded as well.
Yes, thank you. I that was we went to recording studio in Kolkata with the girls twice, and then I worked with professional musicians in Los Angeles,
Wow.
studio musicians. So, I mean, I wanted a real thing, and
Yeah.
all of my singer-songwriter friends, they're um, they're making CDs. I'm like, well, we could make a CD, and so yeah. I mean, I was inspired by my friends in LA, and um, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, it came out so well. Now, I was going to sort of bunch the next two questions together because they probably fit quite well together. We've sort of seen difficult times with COVID recently, and I wondered how that had sort of impacted what you do with SGUB, and also what the future holds.
Yes, well, I had to leave the shelter home last March,
Yeah.
and I left India in early April on a humanitarian evacuation flight arranged by the American government.
Wow.
And I've been, basically potting ever since in a very, small town in Minnesota. Um, Normally, the lessons would continue with certain girls taking leadership and playing ukulele and taking classes. And that happened, usually happens this time. I think it happened for a while, and I think the girls got, uh, some of them really wanted to go home and just
Yeah.
stopped playing. So I think it's on hiatus now
Yeah.
at the shelter home, and I don't know. I hope to go back in I hope to go be able to go back by fall.
Yeah.
And while I've been here, um, basically isolated, I've been working on a project, and I don't have a lot of details to reveal yet, but I do hope to go back and start a small handicraft project with some of the girls who are out of the shelter home,
Right.
and maybe some of the girls that are long term inside the shelter home, to give them a way to make a living, because a lot of times they are out of the shelter home, and then what are they going to do?
Yeah.
They don't have the ability to get a good job and start having kids. So anyway, I want to continue to help. Meanwhile, they've had a hurricane and lockdown, and I've been helping some of the girls financially as I can, as needed out there, and
Wow.
staying in touch with a few of the girls and stuff.
Uh,
But it's a little bit on hiatus right now, I would say.
So that's a big step, isn't it? Going from effectively, your ukulele and trying to encourage these people and help them with their sort of wellness to then helping them financially set up and be independent, if we can call it that. That's a big step, isn't it? That's the two, one maybe naturally leads to the next, but that's a big step to take, isn't it, Laurie?
It is a huge step, and I mean, I had wanted them to be able to teach ukulele. Not everyone, however, is has the chops to teach ukulele.
Yeah.
They could be highly skilled, but maybe not be able to emote and conduct a class. That's another skill entirely, and also those opportunities. And if they have kids, then they're not able to get on a bus and travel across Kolkata and go to a job. So yes, I found, while I'm away and this lockdown, real crisis, and they have no means to support themselves. Okay, I feel like, okay, this is the next thing that I feel really led to do.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that when I do my next Kickstarter for Survivor Girl Ukulele Band, I get a lot of pre-orders for whatever cool thing it is we're going to make.
Fantastic. I
So,
really look forward to that. I always think the thing that you need to teach the ukulele is something that you've got in an abundance, and that's a nice smile. It can get you a long way in teaching the ukulele. A good smile can.
yeah. Well, it's just getting into a shelter home, because the shelter homes are places where girls can be there for a very long time. So in some ways, it's a great place to teach ukulele. On the other hand, there's a lot of restrictions, and the opportunities for these girls to get into, say, a school are very slim because of the culture
Yeah.
and also requirements. So yeah, I still dream about um, them teaching ukulele and working, in a handicraft. But they're tough. They're very strong, a lot of them. But man, it's a tough life out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I really look forward to hearing sort of when I'm sure you'll be able to reveal some more details about that. I very much look forward to hearing about that. Can you tell us a little bit about how people can get involved with the charity, how they could help you?
Well, we have a thing called. I mean, I started this campaign slogan called "You Get Forward."
Okay.
So you could forward for Survivor Girl Ukulele Band. And it's kind of like pay it forward, but it's find a way that you can support Survivor Girl Ukulele Band, whatever way it is that you have to get involved. And like you're doing this interview. Some people have sold our friendship bracelets. Um,
Fantastic.
Lisa Klaish has done an interview. She sold bracelets. She's busked for Survivor Girl Ukulele Band. I mean, and Danny Joy, music. She had me as her designated charity at a recent Glamp Out weekend. I mean, so got a ukulele festival, you know, give me 10 minutes to talk about Survivor Girl Ukulele Band and do a raffle for Survivor, you know, for us. You get forward that way. I think any way people want to do it is, um, you know, spread the word. You know, share videos, buy our CD. Oh, or yeah, buy our CD and then do a cover song video and get the word out that way. Whatever you can do.
Fantastic. Well, there's lots of great ideas. So hopefully some people are watching that will really want to get involved. Fantastic. Now, there's a little question that I ask everybody at the end of the interview. So if you could go on a car journey, you can go anywhere you want and you can go with anyone, and it can be past or present. First of all, what car would you be driving? Secondly, who would your passenger be? Thirdly, what would be on the stereo? And finally, what would be your destination?
Okay, we'd be in a limo and a chauffeur. Yeah, so there'd be a chauffeur, and my passenger would be Adele.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and we've just gotten our hair done and our makeup done, and we're dressed fabulously. And blasting on the stereo is her cover of one of our songs.
Yes, of course.
And we're on our way to the Grammys.
I've had some great answers. That's the classiest one.
And I don't know if there's a category for cover songs, but there should be.
Definitely.
And yeah, because hopefully she wins. So that's if I could take a car journey with anyone, that's what I would do. Short, but sweet.
Yeah, fantastic. And I like the fact that you'd have someone driving you as well. You'd have plenty of room in there for some ukuleles if it was a limo.
Yeah, in the back with Adele jamming on a ukulele.
Fantastic. Well, thank you.
I mean, I would Taylor Swift, Amy Winehouse, Diana Ross. I mean, anyone from the Chiffons, the Shirelles. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing to get someone big to do a cover song?
Yeah, think of the publicity. It'd be great, wouldn't it?
Oh my gosh, that'd be so great. Anyway.
Let's hope so. Well, let's hope Adele's watching. I think she tunes in. I think she does. She's always bothering me playing when's the next one out, Paul. So we'll hope that she is. Listen, Laurie, that's been fantastic. I knew it was going to be such fun chatting to you. I've really enjoyed that. You're doing some wonderful work. I've got to tell you, I had several people suggest I should talk to you.
Oh, see, and that's what I need is people, you know, introducing me to people like you, and I'm so thankful.
Oh, well, no,
for those people. It's just I don't do this alone. I need people out there uking it forward for Survivor Girl Ukulele Band. So, yay! Thank you.
You're most welcome. I shall put a link up to where people can get in touch with you at the end. So thank you very much. I'm just going to stop the recording now.
তুলে ধরবো যদি পড়ে যাও পথ দেখাবো যদি হারিয়ে যাও ভয় পেলে মুছতে চাইবো Survivor Girl Ukulele Band Survivor Girl Ukulele Band তুমি কে ছিলে কোথায় থাকতে জানতে চাই না আমার দ্বার তোমার জন্য খোলা রইলো তোমার জন্য আলোক উজ্জ্বল দিন আর একটা আশা আছে এখানে সুর কণ্ঠে অপেক্ষাতে তুলে ধরবো যদি পড়ে যাও পথ দেখাবো যদি হারিয়ে যাও ভয় পেলে বুঝতে চাইবো Survivor Girl Ukulele Band Survivor Girl Ukulele Band দেখো তুমি কি হতে চাও দেখো তুমি কি ভাবে গিয়ে যাও দেখো জীবন তোমাকে কি দেবে আশীর্বাদ ছড়িয়ে পড়ছে তোমার জন্য আলোক উজ্জ্বল দ্বীপ আর একটা আশা আছে এখানে সুর আছে তোমার কণ্ঠের অপেক্ষাতে তুলে ধরবো যদি পড়ে যাও পথ দেখাবো যদি হারিয়ে যাও ভয় পেলে বুঝতে চাইবো Survivor Girl Ukulele Band Survivor Girl Ukulele